Turn it up.
The #1 sports podcast in Vancouver with Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike. Fun never stop. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike are taking over the podcast scene in Vancouver.
Everyone knows a good prospect.
Get down
It's
or
Vancouver's
lay down.
Ryan Hayes and Big Mike.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Walter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer class of 2014, Seattle Seahawks legend. Hey, you can catch me on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Check it out.
What's up, everybody? This is Lofa Tatupu, former All-Pro linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks. Jumping on today. Coming up is our pod with I Only Touch Greatness. So make sure you zone in and catch it.
Yo, what's good, bro? This is Stevie Johnson. This is the I Only Touch Greatness podcast, baby. Peace.
Hey, this is Brad Johnson, quarterback in the NFL for 17 years, Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So grateful to be a part of this podcast. I Only Touch Greatness. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ken Anderson, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, Rudy Rudiger here, the real Rudy. I am so honored to be on the podcast with Big Mike and Ryan. They Only Touch Greatness podcast they have. I think it's wonderful.
What up, y'all? This is Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. And right now you're checking out I Only Touch the Greatness podcast.
Yo, what's up? This is DJ Yella coming straight out of Compton. I Only Touch Greatness podcast. You know what I'm saying? Check it out.
It's DJ EFN will have to drink Chance Crazy Hood Productions right now. I Only Touch Greatness podcast. You checking it out. Let's go, DJ EFN. Let's go.
Yes, you already know who it is when you hear that voice. It's your boy DJ Ski, and you know that I'm here. You know that I only touch greatness. And right now, you're rocking with I Only Touch Greatness, the podcast. DJ Ski, let's go.
Yada-da, it's your nigga Yuck Mouth, man. And we rocking out on Only Touch Greatness podcast, baby. Check out the new interview, man. We went in, my friend. Yada-da, boy.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Master Ace, Crooklyn Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Juice Crew and all of that. Check me out coming up on I Only Touch Greatness, the podcast.
What's up? It's your girl, Miss Mercedes, and I'm coming up next on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Check me out.
What up, world? It's the boy, Rich Rockin'. I'm coming up on the 420th episode of the I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Be here. Be there. Yeah.
What's happening, y'all? Mo Preem Shakur here on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Yo, what up? Right now you watching I Only Touch Greatness podcast. It's the one and only Murphy Lee, man. Mr. Wintertime self. Why? Because I'm cold. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is. St. Louis in the building. St. Lunatic always representing. That's what it is. Quarantine Murphy in this thing. All right, you see me.
You already know what it is. It's Compton Menace, K8 OG Two-Tone. I'm about to come up on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up? It's your boy Black C, one half of RBL Posse, man. And you're tuned in to I Only Touch Greatness podcast. What it do? One love.
Black, what's happening, y'all? This your boy Mitchie Slick. Check me out on the Only Touch Greatness podcast. You know what I'm saying? Where all the real shit at, man. Shout out to the U.S. and to Canada, man. Straight up. Yeah, that.
What's up, party people? This is your boy DC, the Brain Supreme with Tag Team. I'll be on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast very, very soon. Whoop, there it is. Oh, yeah. Bruce, there it is. Sprinkle.
Absolutely, man. Nicky Fax here. Much love to I Only Touch Greatness podcast. A lot of love, man. If you want to know about greatness, make sure you sign in to these dope hosts. Vancouver, Kansas City. They got it locked. I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Nicky Fax.
And this is Octavius Miller, CEO, West Coast Hip Hop Award. I Only Touch Greatness. You know how we do it. One love.
Yo, what up? It's AD Empire, and we here with our boys, Ryan and Prince Allen, on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Fellas, cheers to 500 episodes, and cheers to 500 more. Yeah.
Tobin TC Costin, man, Me and Mine Entertainment, No Limit Records. Hey, I'm about to be on the greatest show ever, man. I Only Touch Greatness podcast right here, man. Check it out.
Hey everybody, Ken Danico here, 3-time Stanley Cup champion for the New Jersey Devils, and I will be on I Only Touch Greatness podcast, and looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Howard from the Detroit Red Wings, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, how are you? This is AJ Galante, former president of the Danbury Trashers, and I'm coming up on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast with my buddies, and be sure to catch our Netflix documentary, Untold Crime and Penalties.
Yay, Brad Wingfield, the former Danbury Trasher here. Check me out on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Ryan Holweg, NHL veteran, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Check it out.
This is Riley Shea, number 15 of the Seattle Kraken, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, it's Dave Scatchard, best-selling author of The Comeback, My Journey Through Heaven and Hell. Multi-year NHL veteran from 97 to 2011, and I am on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Okay, my name is Wacey Satbata Rabbit. I'm a former professional hockey player, former Vancouver Giant, and former Memorial Cup winner. I am currently the assistant coach of the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, it's Brendan Morrison, former Vancouver Canuck, and I'm coming up on You Only Touch Greatness podcast.
All right, it's Dave Babbage here, Vancouver Canuck alumni, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, my name's Chase Waters. I'm a forward for the Abbotsford Canucks, and today I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Vincent Arsenault from the Canucks Abbotsford, and I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Sheldon Rempel. I'm with the Vancouver Canucks organization, and I am on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Justin Dowling, number 73 of the Vancouver Canucks, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Jonathan Meyerberg. I'm a Canucks prospect, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness.
Hello, this is Lucas Forsell, Vancouver Canucks prospect, and here on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hello, I'm Hugo Gabrielson. I'm a Canucks prospect. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name is Tristan Nielsen. I'm number 84 for the Abbotsford Canucks, and I'm here on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is Adam Rank of the NFL Network. You might know me from such shows as Good Morning Football Weekend, NFL Fantasy Live, NFL Total Access, but the only show that matters is the I Only Touch Greatness podcast, and you are listening to it right now.
What's up, everybody? It's your man, MG Marcus Grant from NFL Network, NFL Fantasy Live, and the NFL Fantasy Football Show. You are listening to the I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Hang out with boys. Be sure to be great.
Matt Money Smith here, getting ready to get it rolling on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Matt Sekeres from Sekeres and the Price daily from 3 to 6 p.m. on SekeresandPrice.com. Coming up on I Only Touch Greatness podcast with my boy Ryan and Big Mike.
Hey everybody, it's Rod Peterson from the Rod Peterson Show on Game Plus TV, and I'm coming up on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Mike and Ryan.
Hi, I'm Craig Button with TSN, and I'm on Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Jeff Patterson from Rink Wide and the Sekeres and Price Show. I've covered the Vancouver Canucks for more than 2 decades in this market, but I'm coming up on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name is Jade Revere. I'm an Olympic gold medalist, and I'm on Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name's Laura Stacy from Kleinburg, Ontario. I'm a 2-time Olympian and Olympic gold medalist from 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Ashton Bell. I'm number 21 on the Canadian National Olympic team, gold medal winner, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Emma Malte. I'm number 27, and I'm an Olympic gold medalist for Team Canada, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Manon Réaume, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi everyone, my name is Venla Hovi. I'm a 3-time hockey Olympian from Finland, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
This is the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, Impact X Division champion, and you're watching the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up, guys? This is TJP, the Philan Flash, and this is the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Cheick Kongo, heavyweight fighter is in Bellator, so our Only Touch Great podcast.
Hey guys, Chadden Halliger, UFC Bantamweight, coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Trev 5-Star Jones, 14-8 professional UFC fighter. I Only Touch Greatness, baby.
Hey, it's Matt Garza coming at you with I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Yeah, my name is Arlen Bruce III, 2-time Grey Cup champion. I represent Kansas 913. It's been a pleasure to be on this great show, I Only Touch Greatness.
Lucky Whitehead, BC Lions, receiver and return specialist. Appreciate y'all having me on y'all podcast and I Only Touch Greatness.
Hey, this is Nathan Rourke, the BC Lions quarterback. I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
All right, Jalen Cooper, the BC Lions, number 29, defensive back. I'm here on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
All right. My name is Jimmy Camacho. I'm number 39 for the BC Lions, field goal kicker, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, how you doing? This is Jordan Williams, the middle linebacker for the BC Lions, number 21, and I am on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
How you doing? This is Court Hammond from BC Lions, number 91, defensive line on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Brett Boyko, number 68 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Noah Cates, number 49 for the Philadelphia Flyers, and I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Matt Kierstead, Florida Panthers organization, coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name is Jeff Riviere. I'm with the San Jose Sharks organization. My number is 63, and I'm on Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Nico Dawes, number 35 with the Utica Comets and the New Jersey Devils organization, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Akira Schmidt with the Utica Comets and the New Jersey Devils organization. I'm going to be on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, it's Paul Cotter, number 43 on the Vegas Golden Knights, coming on to I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Give it a listen.
Hey, I'm Devin Brasso, number 14 for the Bakersfield Condors, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Raphael Lavoie, and I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Stuart Skinner, number 74 for the Edmonton Oilers, number 34 for the Bakersfield Condors, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Всем привет, я Матвей Мечков, и мне очень приятно участвовать в этом подкасте из города Ванкувер.
Дмитрий Злодеев, Vancouver Canucks prospect, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Daniel Yurov, NHL draft prospect 2022, I Only Touch Greatness.
Yeah, I'm Lambert, Team Finland, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Zach Benson. I play for the Winnipeg Ice. I'm a 2023 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Yeah, hi, my name is Dalibor Dvorsky. I play for AIK Stockholm. 2023 draft prospect, and with I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Logan Stankoven. I wear number 11 for the Kamloops Blazers. I'm a U18 gold medalist and a 2021 NHL draft prospect. and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Justin Sordoff, the Vancouver Giants and the Florida Panthers draft prospect, and it was a pleasure being on this podcast. I Only Touch Greatness.
Ty Alberta, Vancouver Giants, 2023 NHL draft prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ethan Semenuk for the Vancouver Giants, 2023 draft eligible, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, Jesper Wickman here, Vancouver Giants goalie and biggest Golden Knights prospect. I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Justin Lees, number 36 for the Vancouver Giants, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Madison Leslie, I'm number 47 for the Vancouver Giants, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Caden Cole, number 17 with the Vancouver Giants, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ryder Thompson of the Portland Winterhawks, number 43, 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness.
Marek Asher, Portland Winterhawks player, number 26, 2022 NHL prospect. I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Josh Morey on the Portland Winterhawks, number 8, and NHL draft prospect 2022, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
So I'm Pavel Novak. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Czech Republic. I'm a Minnesota Wild prospect, and I'm coming on Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Stutz. I'm 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I come Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Andrew Crystal, 2023 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm John Babcock, 2022 NHL draft prospect, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Max Graham, 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Caden Fresh, 2023 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Scott Cousins, 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
All right. Hey, I'm Josh Davies, 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, my name is Brady Burney. I'm 2023 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name is Ryland Mould, 2023 NHL draft prospect, and you're coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Owen Pickering, Swift Current Broncos, 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness.
Reed Deck, Swift Current Broncos, 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ryan Benahart, 22 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, I'm Angus Cruikshank with the Ottawa Senators, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Matthew Semenoff, number 13 for the Kamloops Blazers, 2022 NHL draft prospect on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, I'm Josh Billman, number 24 for the Swift Current Broncos, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, Connor Vidston here, number 21 on the Swift Current Broncos, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Kale Wyer-Ostak here, number 19 on the Swift Current Broncos. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Taya Curry, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast, and I'm the first girl drafted the OHL.
Hey, I'm Cole Spicer from NTDP, 2022 draft eligible, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Rocky McGroarty. I play for NTDP U18. I'm a 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the podcast I Only Touch Greatness.
My name is Oliver Suni. I play for Rauman Lukko, and I'm a prospect for the 2021 NHL draft, and I joined I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Ville Ottavainen. I play for UP Jyväskylä, and I'm an NHL 2021 draft prospect, and I joined the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Samu Tuomala. I play in Oulun Kärpät. I'm NHL 2021 prospect. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Shai Buyum. I'm playing for Denver University this year. I'm a 2021 draft prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Grayson Sachin. I'll be playing for the U17 national team next year. I'm a 2023 draft eligible, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Charlie Lurie, playing for the Fargo Force, the 2021 NHL draft prospect. I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm William Whitelaw. I'm playing for Shattuck St. Mary's next year prep team. I'm a 2023 draft eligible prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi. I'm Tate Harding with the Fort McMurray Oilburns 2021 draft NHL prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Mark Lajoie, the Tri-City Americans 2021 NHL draft prospect, and this is the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Tyson Greenway of the Tri-City Americans 2021 draft prospect, and I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Drew Comesso, Chicago Blackhawks prospect, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Dylan Pikachu. I play for the Prince Albert Raiders, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name is Trey Fouquet. I play for the Prince Albert Raiders, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, it's Braden Morrison. Play for the University of Wisconsin Badgers, 21 draft eligible, on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Jaden Brown, University of Wisconsin forward, 2021 draft pick, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Kyle Kukkonen, Madison Capitals forward, NHL draft prospect 2021. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Henry Nelson, going to Lincoln Stars next year, 2021 NHL prospect, and coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Ethan Burrows, play for the forward for the Owen Sound Attack, prospect for the NHL draft, and I'm coming on to I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Braden Hache, I'm a defenseman for the Kingston Frontenacs. I'm a prospect for the NHL draft. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Damon Hunt, and I play for the Moose Jaw Warriors. I'm part of the Minnesota Wild organization, and I was on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Cole Jordan from the Moose Jaw Warriors. I'm a Calgary Flames prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Jared Perkis. I play for the Moose Jaw Warriors, and I'm a 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I was on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Alex Landry, captain of the Gatineau Olympics and 2021 NHL draft prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, Riker Evans, 35th overall pick for the Seattle Kraken, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Zach Hayes with the Henderson Silver Knights, and I'm coming up on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Dylan Ferguson with the Vegas Golden Knights organization, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Igor Sokol of Ottawa Senators prospect, and I'm here Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hello, my name is Shimon Groch. I'm playing for Hassel Alamut, Czech Republic. I'm 2022-23 draft prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness.
So, hello, my name is Libor Nemec. I play for Lukko Rauma in Finland. I'm 2022 draft prospect, and I'm joining I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Jake Livanavage, number 7 for the Chicago Steel, NHL prospect on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Anand Servo, number 17 to Chicago Steel, NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
This is Dwayne Jean Jr. with the Tri-City Americans, number 18, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Brett Highland, number 7 on the Brandon Wheat Kings, and I'm going on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Lachlan Gordon, Edmonton, Alberta. I'm number 70 on the Portland Winterhawks, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Jonah Bevington, number 21 for the Portland Winterhawks, and I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Tomáš Suchanek. I'm 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
So, my name is Peter Moravec, and I am 2022 NHL prospect, and I Only Touch Greatness.
Hi, I'm Nate Danielson from the Brandon Wheat Kings, 2022 2023 NHL Draft Prospect. I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Tyson Jugnoff. Play for the West Kelowna Warriors. Committed to University of Wisconsin. 2022 NHL Draft Prospect, and coming on to the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Rylan Roersma from the Brandon Wheat Kings, 2022 NHL Draft Prospect. I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, hi, I'm Braden Sherman, forward for the Victoria Royals, and you're listening to I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Graydon Seatman, 2022 NHL Draft Prospect, D-man for the Calgary Hitmen, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hello, I'm Brandon Wynot. I'm a forward for the Calgary Hitmen, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Gannon Larocque, Victoria Royals, defenseman, San Jose Sharks Draft Prospect, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, it's Mason Bopa, number 30 from the Spokane Chiefs, NHL Draft Prospect 2022. Coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Nolan Lalonde from the Erie Otters, 2022 NHL Draft eligible, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Spencer Silva. I play for the Erie Otters. I'm a 2022 NHL Draft Prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, Charlie Gerardo here. Play for the USA Under-17 development team, University of Michigan commit, 2023 NHL Draft Prospect, and I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, it's Juan Copeland here with the Niagara Ice Dogs. I'm a 2023 NHL Draft Prospect, and I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, I'm Noah Roberts, Hamilton Bulldog, in draft class of 2024. And I'm on the podcast I Only Touch Greatness.
Number 12, Daniel Panetta for the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. I'm committed to Colgate University, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Noah Serdachny, number 9 for the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. I'm committed to Colorado College, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Felix Trudeau from the West Kelowna Warriors, number 7. I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Tyler Crystal, number 28 from the West Kelowna Warriors, and I'm going on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Tyler Rubin, number 4 in the West Kelowna Warriors, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Chase Defoe, number 19 of the West Kelowna Warriors, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Nick Rukanakis, number 18 of the West Kelowna Warriors, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Justin Katz, number 37 for the West Kelowna Warriors, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Carter Schmidt, number 9 on the West Kelowna Warriors, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Rieger Lorenz. I play for the Okotoks Oilers, and I'm a 2022 NHL Draft Prospect. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Bone Singleton, play for the Okotoks Oilers, NHL 22 Draft Prospect. I'm coming on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Samuel Hawk, I play for the Okotoks Oilers, NHL Draft Year 22. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hello, I'm Gleb Trikozov. I'm top prospect NHL 22 season. I only touch greatness.
I'm Ken Goetze, number 21 of the Drummondville Oatstars, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Eric Lamoureux, number 13 of the Drummondville Voltstar. I'm a draft prospect for the 2022 NHL Draft, and I'm on Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Hanno Femus. I play for the Niagara Ice Dogs, NHL Draft Year 22. I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Aiden Castle. I play for the Niagara Ice Dogs. My draft year is 2022, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Joey Costanzo with the Niagara Ice Dogs. My NHL draft year is 2023, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Tyler Clevin from the USA World Junior Team, Ottawa Senators prospect, and I'm coming in on Only Touch Greatness podcast.
So I'm Jakub Bos. I'm a Florida Panthers prospect and playing in Ilves Liga in Finland. And I'm playing for Czech Republic on the World Championship in Canada, and I only touch the greatness.
I'm Martin Versavi. I'm playing in Moose Jaw Warriors. I'm a Columbus Blue Jackets prospect. I'm on a Czech national team for World Chase in Edmonton this year. And I'm on an I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
So, I'm Stanislav Varel, and I'm going to World Cup
in Edmonton this year with national team Czech Republic, and I only touch greatness podcast.
I am Josef Kováček. I'm going to World Junior Cup with national team U20, Czech national team. I only touch greatness podcast.
I'm Jiří Kulik, Czech Republic. I'm only touch greatness podcast.
I'm Michael Krull. I'm Chicago Blackhawks prospect. I'm playing with Rockford Ice Hawks in CHL. I'm with Czech national team on World Juniors, and I only touch greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Kasper Pudio. I play for the Team Finland here on the World Juniors, and I'm the Florida Panthers draft pick, and I joined I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, I'm Riley Damiani. I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast, and I'm part of the Dallas Stars organization.
Carter Jacobs, Bokenchi, NHL Draft 2022, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Jace Weir, Ready Rebels, NHL Draft Class 2022, I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Tanner Mollendijk, NHL Draft Class 2023, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Bailey Peach. I'm a left winger for the Victoria Royals, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name's Owen Beck. I play for the Mississauga Steelheads. I'm a 2022 NHL draft prospect, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Josh Zary, number 17 for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Emmanuel Charbonneau. I'm wearing number 3. I'm playing for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Ethan Bono, number 9 for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Ryan Noss. I'm number 22 for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Matthew Malte, number 23 for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name's Ethan Bowen. I'm number 18 for the Chilliwack Chiefs, and I'm drafted by the Anaheim Ducks, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name's Cameron Johnson. I'm number 21 for the Chilliwack Chiefs, and I am joining the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Angel Lacroix, number 13 for the Chilliwack Chiefs, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name's Grant Riley, number 1 for the Chilliwack Chiefs. I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Mateo Mersic, number 16 for the Chilliwack Chiefs, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name's Jack Sorensen. I play for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Addison Nichols. I am an offensive lineman at the University of Tennessee, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Taylor Jackson. I play quarterback for the University of Tennessee, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
So my name is Jeremy Cooper, offensive lineman, University of Cincinnati, draft class 2023. I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey guys, hopping on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. My name is James Sunstall. I'm a 2023 draft prospect. I play left tackle here for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
I'm D'Artagnan Tinsley, offensive lineman here at the University of Cincinnati, NFL prospect, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Dallas Young, Arkansas commit. I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up, it's Kelty Collins, Division I prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Cooper Williams, for the Gators, number 17, 2025 draft prospect, and I'm on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Charles Ross. I'm from Culver City. I go to San Jose State University. I'm coming up on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Dante Bull, Fresno State left tackle, number 72. I'm here on the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up, guys? It's Mose Lavao, Fresno State left guard, number 51, and you're on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Mateo Durant. I play running back at Duke University, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
What's up? My name is Keon Williams. I'm a wide receiver at the University of Buffalo. I wear number 3, and you're watching the I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
So I'm Cole Kelly, quarterback at Southeastern,
and this is I Touch Greatness Podcast.
I'm Leon Franklin. I'm running back for Michigan Wolverines, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
This is Logan Bonner with Utah State, quarterback number 1, and I'm appearing on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Brandon Bowling, wide receiver number 16 for Utah State football, and I am on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Calvin Tyler Jr. from Beaumont, Texas. I play running back at Utah State, and I'm number 4, and I'm appearing on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name is Derek Wright, wide receiver number 8 at Utah State, and I'm appearing on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name is Quazel White. I'm a guard number 51 at Utah State, and I am on Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
What's going on, guys? This is Sidney Brown, number 30 at the University of Illinois.
Chase Brown, number 2, the University of Illinois. You guys are here on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
This is Isaiah Chambers, defensive end at McNeese State. I wear number 40, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast. My name is Taiwan McLeod. I'm a 2022 NCAA prospect.
I Only Touch Greatness Podcast. I'm Tyrese Fairbury, class 2022, committed to Kentucky, and I play outside linebacker.
I'm Sam James, wide receiver at Western Virginia University, NFL prospect 2023, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Hi, I'm Colton Gamino. I go to York High School. I'm one of the top NCAA prospects, and I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Cam Davis, class 2024, Doherty High School, FSU commit, and I'm attending I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Antonio Clovis, Doherty High School, class 23, and I just joined I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
How's it going? My name's John Holbrook. I'm on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast. IMG 2023 wide receiver, and I'm from Bradenton, Florida.
What's up, everybody? Brian Down, 2025 quarterback at IMG, originally from New York, and this is the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Hi, my name is Mason McHugh. I'm from Idaho, and you're on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast. I'm a quarterback at IMG Academy, class of 2023.
Jake Coyne, linebacker, IMG, I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Perfect.
Will Cuddy, linebacker, IMG, I Only Touch Greatness.
Colin Howard, wide receiver at IMG Academy, and this is I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Mario Oliva, IMG Academy, tackle, Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Grant Shepley, I'm a NCAA prospect from IMG Academy. I'm a freshman, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
I'm Axel Ferry. I'm a prospect out of IMG Academy down here in Bradenton, Florida, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name's Jude Bangmers. I'm an NCAA prospect. I'm a junior at IMG Academy, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
I'm George Hasiotis. I'm a 2026 NCAA prospect at IMG Academy. I'm an offensive lineman. I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name is Tyrion George. I go to Douglas County High School, and I'm an NCAA prospect coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name is Monte Gooden. I go to Douglas County High School, an NCAA prospect, and you are watching I Only Touch Greatness.
Hi, my name is Ben Safley. I'm a safety at IMG, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name is Jimmy Athens. I play DB and running back at IMG Academy, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Hello, my name is Chris Conti. I play defensive tackle at IMG, and I am on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
What's up? My name is Tashawn Baker White, safety NCAA prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
I'm Robert Billings, and I'm an NCAA prospect, safety, and I'm on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Garrett Spear, 2023 outside linebacker, NCAA prospect, I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Chase Burton, class of 2024, DB and receiver, NCAA prospect, coming on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
Silas Wallace, 2023, right tackle, D tackle prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
T.A. Cunningham, defensive end at John Street High School, and I'm coming on the I Only Touch Greatness Podcast.
My name is Omar White. I'm at Lee County High School, NCAA prospect, coming on to I Only Touch Greatness.
My name is Will Collier. I'm I'm an offensive lineman of College Chattanooga, and thank you for being on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Landon Thomas, class 2024, coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Brooks Bentley, quarterback, NCAA prospect. I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Paul Cook, receiver, NCAA prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Bryson Rogers, class of 2023, wide receiver, NCAA prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness.
Hi, I'm Amari Borden. I'm a Stanford commit, wide receiver, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
3, Kenneth Kelly, athlete, NCAA top prospect, and I'm coming on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
This is CJ Figures from Morrow High School, played big time strong safety, and this is I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Keyshawn Mashburn. I play defensive tackle, and I'm NCAA top prospect, and I came on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Juice Majors, wide receiver, class of 2023, NCAA prospect, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
I'm Jebion Howard, running back, class of 2024, NCAA prospect, and I am here on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, my name is Jordan Pride, and I'm from Bluntstown High School, and I'm an FSU commit 2024, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hi, I'm Amari Hoover, NCAA prospect, class of 2024. I go to Bluntstown High School, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
My name is Andre Williams. I go to Bluntstown High School, class of 2023, and I'm on I Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Hey, my name is Artavius Jones. I'm class 2024. I go to Bluntstown High School. I Only Touch Greatness.
Looking for the most beers on tap, great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B. Pub.
We got the best beers, steaks, chicken wings, nachos in town. Come see us at the John B. Pub.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Come sign up for our football pool. Say hey sent you.